What's a word that someone horribly mispronounced with such confidence, that you still remember it to this day? I work in the legislative policy field, and my boss pronounces statuettes. It's wild. When I worked at Subway, I asked a customer what kind of dressing he wanted, and he said, "Do you know, Chipotle?" Which he butchered so badly I heard it as "Do you know a cheap hotel?" So I told him, "Yeah, down on 39th Street," and we were both thoroughly confused. We had a training at work, taught by an outside organization. The lady was talking about the Irish potato famine. Except she kept calling it the potato phantom. She did this at least 5 times. Networking professor in college was reading a section of the textbook out loud. He came to the word extraneous, which he mispronounced as extra anus. No work was done for the rest of that class. What's romanticized that shouldn't be romanticized? Overworking, toxic romantic relationships. And the messy never stays confined to the relationship. Friends, family, and sometimes innocent bystanders can all wind up splattered in it. Chasing after someone who has told you they're not interested. The grind. I'm sure it can be romanticized when you're working to invest, or saving up for something. I'm trying to buy groceries and make rent. I'm so tired. And tired of acting like it's a noble pursuit or something that I have to work so many hours just to live. Grind culture. Whatever the fuck happened in The Notebook? Serial reference Ted Bundy. All of Netflix serial killer docs. Would you rather get $10 million and live 10 more years, or $10K and live 100 years? And why? Can I do like $3 million and live another 30? I just imagine living in a nice house out in the countryside just contemplating my death date. It would really suck the last few months. It'd be terrible. Especially if you're not even sick. Money does buy happiness, but time is money. I'll take the 10K. Depends on my age. Right now, 10,100 years. If I'm 90, I'll take the 10 million in 10 years. 10K. 10 years isn't enough time to enjoy with my wife and daughter. Honestly, I'll be surprised if I make it another decade as is, so I'll take the $10 million. As a homeless person, what is the most important thing you can tell someone who finds themselves homeless for the first time? Find a way to maintain dental hygiene. I'm so tired of not being able to chew food, being in constant pain, and having additional medical issues due to oral infections. Not to mention, once they being rotting, your appearance will hinder you from being employable. If you're homeless but have a job, get a gym membership, preferably somewhere open 24 hours, so you can shower. If magic exists in this world, what would happen? Everyone's talking about using magic for grand things, but let's be real, most of us would just end up magically refilling our coffee cups without getting up. Science would investigate it and it wouldn't be magic for long, that or we would have wizards doing wizard science. It does exist. You're just a filthy muggle. It'd be basically the same as far as how we perceive it. Since it'd be the same as technology. Magic already does exist. It's technology. I can get all the information in the world on a small 5x3 device without touching anything. Imagine someone 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago suddenly transported to now. They'd think everything was magic. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke. If someone gave you $1,000 a week to never eat meat again ever, what would you do? Well, I'd go from being a broke vegetarian to a middle-class vegetarian. $1,000 a week will give me a lot more security than delicious meat will give me comfort. I'll take the money every time. Stop eating meat. A free $52,000 a year is too good to pass up. Spend $900 a week at the local Nepali restaurant? Fuck yeah. I'll be spending that money on Indian food. I love meat, but not more than I would love $1,000 a week. Truffle habit, here we come. I love beans, let's go. Not eat meat. With that much extra money, I'd find new food to enjoy or good meat alternatives. As long as I can still eat eggs and dairy, I'll take the deal. I wouldn't go vegan for $1,000 a week though. I love my breakfast cereal too much, lol. If you could go back 10 years, what would you say to yourself now? Eat more, exercise more. There's a company called Tesla. You're going to dump all of your extra cash into it and your mom's going to lecture you on the importance of diversifying. Listen, but not in that instance. Stop overthinking so much. Do more squats and eat less chips. You didn't need him, he needed you. Focus on school, health, and love yourself. Relationships will break your spirit. You're more than capable of being who you always wanted to be. You're not healthy enough for a relationship. Don't date that guy and listen to him when he tells you he's messed up. Also go into nursing. You're not cut out for a desk job as you're more extroverted than you think. 10 years of being in a relationship that resulted in 3 kids, now going through a divorce as it ended up being 10 years of emotional neglect on top of 18 years of childhood trauma. If zombies took over the world, where would you go to be safe? Costco. Lots of food and supplies, plus the zombies won't be allowed in unless they show their Costco cards. Nowhere. You are strongly overestimating my will to live somewhere in the mountains. Because narrow, easy to control access roads. Sparse population, slower spread of the disease. Access to clean water, mountain rivers and springs. Access to electricity either through using existing or building my own hydropower plant. That or a nuclear icebreaker. Since they eat brains, my former workplace would probably act as a cloaking device. I'll just stay in New Zealand, thanks. We are too far away from the rest of the world for them to be bothered coming down here. The living room. Insert comic panel of house surrounded by treadmills here. To the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for this all to blow over. Men. What inquiries have you hesitated to post to women due to embarrassment, yet are curious to know? What do you pretend to dislike because of societal conventions, but actually want or like? Are horses really that cool? Doesn't it really bother you to have a thong riding up your ass crack? I have a wife, but she says she's kind of indifferent to up. For the girls who wear string bikinis, doesn't it feel like you're basically naked at the beach or at the pool? I'm not judging, but like, don't you want to feel like you can relax and swim without everything coming undone, or if your boobs pop out? Just asked my FWB what it feels like to be cummed inside. She said it doesn't really feel like much. Don't know what I expected, TBH. Are skirts as comfortable as they look? I'm supposed to think all newborns are the cutest, most adorable thing ever, but honestly, up until about 1-2 years old, babies look like angry potatoes to me. Out of all the cars you've owned, which one holds a special place in your heart as the absolute favorite? My first a two-tone maroon eggplant 1985 Buick Riviera. It was like driving a living room. My 1988 Honda Prelude, first car. I still love that car all these years later. 1970 Chevelle. Bought it in 1980 from a HS classmate, the car's second owner. Sold it in 1985 for house down payment. Bought it back in Haven, drive it. My first car for sure. 1994 purple Geo Metro. It was on its side in a snowbank so many times in HS's pranks. I would just gently nudge it on its wheels and drive away. Loved that little bastard. Went anywhere, albeit slowly, no matter the weather. Radiator eventually fell out the bottom of the car on the highway and I ran it over. Rip Barney. What album is perfect from beginning to end? Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. A Charlie Brown Christmas. Carole King's Tapestry album. Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. The Cure, Disintegration. Nirvana Unplugged and new track is amazing. David Bowie. Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust. Deltron 3030. Led Zeppelin 4. Alice in Chains. Dirt. OK Computer, Radiohead. Dark Side of the Moon. Demon Days by Gorillaz. Jimmy Eat World, Bleed American. Graceland, Paul Sans Bonobo. Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. Stop Making Sense by Talking Heads. The Strokes, Is This It? The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails. Songs for the Deaf, Queens of the Stone Age. Title by Fiona Apple. Violator by Depeche Mode. Breakfast in America, Supertramp. Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette. 1995. Super Unknown by Soundgarden. What movie is really sad when told from the villain's perspective? Baby's father in Dirty Dancing. Dude just wants to have a nice family vacation. Mrs. Doubtfire, because imagine how scared Pierce Brosnan was when Mrs. Doubtfire tried to kill him with pepper. If you think about it, most romance movies that center on the main character being in love with a person in a relationship. The villain is a person acting defensive and jealous because the main character keeps trying to make moves on their partner and their partner allows it. Their partner then emotionally cheats and leaves them for the person they shouldn't be worried about. But that's okay because they're not the MC and they were mean a few times to the MC for being a skeeve. What series movies that left you asking WTF did I just watch? Sorry to Bother movie was a wild ride. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Swiss Army Man. The O on Netflix. Mulholland Drive. Twin Peaks in the best way possible. Splice. It got rapey and incesty real quick. Midnight Gospel, especially the episode with his dying mother. Love Has Won. Literal WTF, Grimacing Face. Beau Is Afraid. Mindfuck, superbly executed. With the AAA talent in this show, they couldn't have messed it up. It's really for a second season. The Leftovers gets wild in the later seasons. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Mainly because even though it was released beforehand, the Stargate sequence looks like a version of the Doctor Who title sequence made by someone taking drugs. 1979's Phantasm. Mad God. I'm pretty sure it's the weirdest movie I've ever seen. What's a sentence that makes perfect sense in 2023 that would have made zero sense in 1970? Asking someone, "Where are you?" when they answered the phone. My car won't talk to my phone. Just Google it. Let me grab my phone and take a selfie. I watched too many TikToks of gym baddies, now my algorithm is all fucked up. I'm gonna DoorDash a Blizzard for my grinder hookup. Did you see that the meme I tweeted got 20,000 likes? This house is only $400,000. Why are you saving things on your hard drive and not the cloud? Click the icon with your mouse to open the window. I don't care where you are, when I call your phone you answer, and don't make me leave a voicemail. I thought I retweeted a link to a Zoom meet about the mid-pandemic insurrection, but it was actually a rickroll. My PC bricked due to a flawed update and I'm scouring YouTube videos for a Pakistani fix-it. The stream is choppy and unwatchable.